Well, guess what? It is Monday, and if it's Monday, then that means it's time for Mondays in the meditation room with Dr. K for Midlife Musings. Can I tell you, I am so glad to be here as this is now, can you believe it, the last Monday of January. Y'all, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. If this is your first time watching either via YouTube, you're watching a replay, whatever platform you're watching on, Happy New Year. It's still January 31st, so we're still basically in a brand new year. Welcome to 2020 and welcome to the meditation room, Mondays in the meditation room with Dr. K for Midlife Musings. And I call it the meditation room because this literally is my meditation room. This is the room. Once my youngest vacated the premises, I told him, dude, I'm getting ready to take over your room. Little paint, little stencil, have all of my stuff in here. This is the meditation room. What better place for us to discuss all things empowerment and enlightenment for Black women in midlife? We are not subscribing to the midlife crisis. We are redefining it. It is a midlife awakening, reimagining, rebirthing as the most best sacred season of our lives. Thank you for joining me on tonight as we culminate this amazing celebration for the month of January. So, Enlightened Woman Enterprises, which is the umbrella in which Monday's meditation room falls under, is our second anniversary. I actually formed it and it became official January 21st, 2020. So I said, what? 2 years, we're still growing, we're still stretching, we're still learning how to be this business. But guess what? I don't want to wait till 5-10 years to celebrate. We're celebrating right now, 2 years of the existence of Enlightened Woman Enterprises. So exciting about that. Mondays in the meditation room, Enlightened Woman Publishing, the Serenity Experience. And speaking of publishing, right? The Enlightened Woman book, self-published, so excited. The Enlightened Woman Inspirations and Reflections to Rediscover the Joy of Being You in Midlife and Beyond. You need to get it. And get some for your friends, y'all. We just closed out 4 Mondays of a masterclass on the book. And can I tell you, it was just revelatory, just enlightening, empowering. And the women that were a part of it was just phenomenal and made it so. So welcome. So what we decided to do for the month of January as we celebrate our anniversary, look, we got balloons. Did you remember? Look, we got our little something. This is our Serenity Experience wine tumbler. We're going to celebrate and toast because we celebrated all month long, every Monday, what we call HWICs, Head Women in Charge, midlife influencers, entrepreneurs, C-suiters, presidents, CEOs, co-founders, and creatives all month long. We kicked off with Melanie Gamble, broker and owner of 212 Realty. Her story was just amazing. You can watch the replay, just scroll on down. And then, oh my gosh, my good girlfriend, Catherine Bridges Freeland, CEO, president of ATech Inc. Oh my gosh, their stories were amazing. And then my friend Margaret Thompson, co-founder of the DC Shy Pie. I always follow that with, you got to get you some. It is delicious, phenomenal. And tonight, y'all, is going to be no different. So we're talking about women in midlife, but we fall in the whole spectrum, right? So we started off with sisters who were at 50s, 60s, somewhere, and then those range. We're going down to the other end of the spectrum because we're all in this together. And I am just so excited to introduce not just one, but 2 HWICs. And I'm going to introduce them because I want to have as much time as we can to hear their stories and to talk to them on tonight. Hey, y'all, I'm sorry. I'm so excited. I've been talking. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Send some chats and some love. Say hey to your sisters. Say, I'm so glad to spend this time with you in the meditation room. So tonight we have Jamel Schufer and Christian Belton. Woo! Entrepreneurs and creatives in their own right. And guess what? We don't do no comparison or competition in the meditation room. Enlightened women don't do that, right? We support and encourage one another. So give me a few minutes, if you don't mind, to just introduce them with their bios, and then we're going to bring them up and have an empowering and enlightening conversation. So, Jamel Schufert is a Baltimore native where she graduated from Baltimore Polytechnic Institute. Jamel is an alumna of Drexel and Georgetown Universities, where she obtained an undergraduate degree in mechanical engineering and a graduate MBA in international business, respectively. Jamel's international studies included intensives in China and Dubai. Jamel worked for the federal government for 10 years before she followed her entrepreneurial spirit, stepped out on faith, and started a corporate event planning firm specializing in conferences, expos, fundraisers, and other special events. Prism Events, LLC, grew to 5 full-time and 15 part-time employees with successful events throughout the U.S. to include Arizona, Louisiana, California, Georgia, and Florida, just to name a few. In 2020, during the height of the pandemic, Jamel expanded on her entrepreneurial spirit and started a natural skincare company, All Naturally You. She creates handmade bath, body, and skincare products designed to help alleviate common skin conditions with all natural ingredients. All Naturally You is sold on 3 e-commerce outlets, including Walmart Marketplace, and is looking to expand to more physical locations in 2022. Jamel is a devoted wife and proud parent of 2 wonderful children. In her downtime, she enjoys traveling, reading, window shopping for RVs, and all things family oriented. Jamel's favorite quote is by Ayn Rand, which says, "The question isn't who's going to let me, it's who's going to stop me," which is how she lives her life. Don't y'all just love that? Y'all need to, let me read it again. The quote by Ayn Rand says, "The question isn't who's going to let me, it's who's going to stop me." Come on. I'm loving that, loving that. Come on, y'all, help me welcome to Jamel. Now let me introduce Christian Belton. She believes she was created to be creative. At an early age, she discovered her love for art, design, and everything creative. As she grew up, Christian realized that drawing, painting, illustrating, and sketching was more than a hobby, but it was a gift. In 2006, she graduated from Philadelphia University with a Bachelor of Science degree in Graphic Design Communications. In May 2014, Christian graduated from Wesley Theological Seminary in Washington, D.C. with a Master's of Divinity degree. Let me stop right there parenthetically and say I graduated from Wesley too, but we need a call or something, because it's no fun saying Wesley and then it's just silence, right? Because you say Howard and you like HU, right? So I think the Black students, the seminaries for Wesley, we need to come up with some kind of something. In May 2014, during the Virginia Annual Conference, Christian was ordained an itinerant elder in the African Methodist Episcopal Church. Christian has designed for various churches, organizations, and events. She enjoys bringing a client's idea to life. In 2008, Christian started CB Creates, a graphic design business dedicated to making creativity a reality. Christian uses her gift and skill to design logos, flyers, websites, and more. Painting has always been Christian's first love. Christian's artwork has been featured in various local art shows and exhibitions such as Artomatic in 2017. She enjoys both the freedom of abstract paintings and the detail of portraits and landscapes. It is Christian's calling to share the power of art and the gift of creativity with as many people as possible, locally and internationally. She has facilitated various paint sessions to help promote healing. Christian partnered with a Present Help Movement, Inc., and United Communities Against Poverty to help residents of a shelter envision their future in a positive way. In November 2018, she traveled to Nigeria with STARS, Sexual Trauma and Restorative Services, Women's Project, and facilitated an art session with young women and girls who were sexually abused and traumatized. Christian can be found providing graphic design services or leading a paint session through CB Creates. She is looking forward to continuing to spread the gift of art and creativity, one project or assignment at a time. Come on, Mondays in the meditation room. Oh, a Enlightened Woman. Let's welcome Jamel
Hi.
and Chrissy.
Hi.
I love it, love it, love it. Cousin Gina's on, Chrissy. Yay.
Hello, cousin. She must be on the other one. Yeah, cousin.
I love it. I love it. I'm so glad to have y'all. I'm so excited. Just reading their bios made me feel powerful for knowing y'all.
Oh,
The work that you have done, what you have created, and what you are doing. Even though, um, uh, disclosure, one of these women is my niece. I love reading the bio because I still remember and learn. And Sister Jamel is so just calm and quiet. She is somebody's
I'm boss.
boss.
I'm boss.
And I love it, love it, love it. That's why you can't judge a book by the cover. And most women, when they show up with so much more than people
Mhm.
absolutely kind of can imagine or think. So I'm glad, so glad to have you. So as we get started and we kick off this month long of celebrating HWIC's Head Women in Charge. Oh, I'm so excited about it. But I really, after reading those bios, it's so awesome. So I want to kind of hear from you who Chrissy is in this season of your life. Who is Jamel in this season of your
Mhm.
life? Which one of y'all want to go first? Just go first. Just jump on in.
You want to go first, Jamel?
Go ahead, Chrissy.
Okay. I'm still trying to think about that, but who? Okay, so who is Chrissy in this season? In this season, Chrissy is evolving. She
Mhm.
is relearning herself in this season, exploring, just really trying to pull back the layers, and being like, okay, well, who am I really, and who do I want to be, right? And so,
Oh, that's good.
kind of have been just kind of asking myself questions. Do you following this path because you believe it or because you think this is what someone wants from you?
Mhm.
Just kind of deciding, you come to a point in your life, like a pivot. It's like, okay, where do I want to go from here? Right. And so it's like, all right, if I'm not seeing what I want to see, what are the decisions, that I want to make and can make? So I'm just kind of just researching Chrissy in a way, relearning me, grabbing hold of what I know I do love, and then letting go of what I'm like, all right, that wasn't me. That was what was put on me,
Mhm.
and then kind of just living, learning, and loving who I'm discovering myself to be at this season, and just taking it one step at a time, and not trying not to be too hard on myself. No,
Good.
that's that
That's
is the hard
good.
part. It's like you did what you knew to do with what you had. You know what I mean? And so we can only move forward, and kind of just trying to learn from the past, but also trying to make a better future for myself as well. So yeah,
Y'all already dropping wisdom and knowledge already. I'm loving it, loving it, loving it.
that's me. That's all. Yeah. So that's what I
Excellent. Thank
is.
you, Jamel.
So I am at this point in my life, I know what I want right now. Like
Mhm,
I've been through going through that 9 to 5. I've
Mhm.
been trying to fit what someone else thought I should be,
mhm,
in that mold of what someone else thought I should be.
Mhm.
And now I am at a point in my life where I know I'm a business owner. I don't want to work for anybody else. I can't do it. I have a trouble with authority.
mhm.
So I know that I want to be my own boss, and that is it.
That's it. That's it.
So
Oh,
I'm getting comfortable in my own skin
yeah.
and kind of walking into that purpose, like walking in that purpose, walking into what I was meant to do and accepting it and going forward.
I love
That is so
it.
because in this season in our lives, as we're evolving, as we're growing and coming to that full self-acceptance is so powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So powerful. And being able to say, I know what I want is so empowering because we're conditioned from early childhood to be what everybody else wanted us to be. Right? We have all those tapes running around in our head about what we should be and what, and then sometimes get punished for not flowing in that mold that people are making. But we're okay now at this season in our lives to be okay with that. So thank you for sharing that. Y'all, first of all, let me just say, y'all, we're celebrating, we're closing out this month. We're celebrating the anniversary of these beautiful balloons. I love them, they all shining. But I also had my Serenity Experience tumbler. So I'm just saying, yay, clink, clink, and toast to you. Because when you see me pick up my cup,
that's right. We toasting tonight.
love it. That was so awesome. Thank you. So, hey, Lady Margaret, co-founder.
My mama.
In love, Darlene is here. Of course, she's not gonna let the babies do anything without her presence. So supportive. I love it. So supportive of the family, period. So I'm glad to see the women of worth being represented on tonight.
Yay.
All right. So I want to talk about Jamel kind of slipped into the next question because she's like, I finally knew after 10 years that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So if you're going to just talk a few minutes about what was your journey like to entrepreneurship, some highs and lows, how'd you get to this place? And then you share with some highs and lows, because there might be some women out there who are contemplating entrepreneurship.
So it's funny looking back, I realized that my parents, great parents, they said, Jamel, go to school, go to college, get a good job with some benefits, make good money, you retire and live out your life and travel and do all that stuff. Like that's what they taught me how to do. And so that's what I did. I went to school, I got a good job, all that good stuff, but it was a feeling that something just isn't right. I'm not being fulfilled. I was always looking for something else to do because what I was doing wasn't good. It wasn't filling my heart with joy. So I kept trying to find other things, and I didn't just start with the Prism events. I had a little business. It seems like I had a little side business trying to figure it out, always kind of hustling on the side to see what else I wanted to do. And then until I found Prism events, until I found out that I could use my background to also pair it with creativity and come up with and help people with events. So it was a long time coming, but when I look back on it, I realized that, that voice that keeps telling you this isn't good, this isn't right, this isn't what you're supposed to be doing. I wasn't listening, and so it took me a little longer than usual, but I got there.
That is so good. The couple of things you said, it wasn't filling my heart with joy. Because we think we're just supposed to put up with not feeling joy and just do it because that was the script. I think that was just the Black family script that just got passed around to every family, right? Go to school, go to college, go to trade school, whatever, get a good job and stay there until you retire and then whatever.
Right.
That was the script. No room, no wiggle room for anything else. Chrissy, how about you?
So kind of similar. I kind of always had the creativity part on the side. Like you heard in the bio, I went to school for graphic design. So that's what I did. When I started CV Creates, I wasn't really doing it. Like I was doing flyers anyway, because I think I was working for the church at the time. So I was always doing flyers and then people are like, oh, well, who did the flyers? So then I do flyers for other people. And I'm like, this is your business, Chrissy, and so it was like, hello, so, let's just walk in this, and so it kind of was just like, I was just doing it. Like I've always, my parents will tell you, I was always, even in high school, doing banners for our church, for my grandfather's church back in the day. Like I was always being creative, and so I was like, this is all I want to do. Like I don't want to do anything else, so started to create on the side because it was not able to, stay on its own. And then slowly, little by little, was like, okay, this now the main thing, started as a side chick, now it's my main, now it's the main squeeze. Okay, no, in a good way, amen. So, but yeah, now then it slowly became the main thing, and evolved so that it was like, okay, not just because art was my first passion, like that was the first thing, but it was like, I can't possibly make money doing art, like it was just like that was the first thing from my mind. So I think I kind of leaned on graphic design because I was like, okay, at least that's an actual career, so it's like, this is my way to get my creativity out into the world. But then after, kind of the graphic part was established and the websites were part, I was like, let's bring that art thing back a little bit, let's bring that back, so kind of really letting that become now more of a part of CB Creates now. And so it's been interesting. It's good because it's like, this is mine, right? But then it's also, so that's the joy of it. It's like, okay, I get to make this, whatever I want it to be. And so that's the joy of it, is building it. But then at the same point, it's like, it's mine. And so that means it's all on me.
What stops with you?
What stops with me? I am the marketer. I am the finance person. I am the lawyer. You get people to help you, of course, in that field, in the fields of expertise. But it all comes down to you, so it's like, it ain't gonna get done, right now, I don't have a, crew or whatnot, but it's like, okay, Chrissy, it all falls on you. But just learning that balance, because I realized that it's worth, like, all the, little things, all the, lows and the struggle. It's worth it to be able to say, this is mine, and I started this, and I started this is my baby, and I started from scratch. So it's like, it's worth all the stuff that sometimes, can be annoying, but it's like, I'll go through that because the reward is far better, than and all that stuff. It's like, to go to sleep at night and to wake up and to, when I see posting stuff, I'm like, I designed that. Look at that, I just be like, it's like that feeling of seeing what you created out in the world is like that. I live for that, I live for that. So it's definitely been my pleasure to put this out in the earth.
And I wanna just follow up on what you said, Chrissy, because sometimes people don't understand that it takes a while. Like you see on YouTube, you see all these people, they're like, oh yeah, I made $1 million in 3 months. People think that when you start your business, that's how it's going to be. That's how it's going to work. But they don't understand. It's a lot of churn in the background. It's a lot of you and late nights, and you are the marketer. You are the person that needs to get the budget together or see how you're going to spend this little bit of money to make the most impact. Like, and then after you have really hustled a little bit in your business, then you see the outcome, and then you see the, your baby has been born, right? It's there. It's full, and you have it, and it is yours.
Happy baby.
Happy baby.
Look at my happy baby.
People, they see all that stuff on YouTube and on social media, and that's not everybody's journey.
Absolutely.
That is not everybody's journey.
And don't be upset when you don't get those results. You know what I mean? We can't compare. That's the one thing I was like, I follow people for inspiration, but I'm not for comparison, because it's like their journey. Because I'm like, wait, she just turned 35. Wait a minute, I'm 37. So it's like, hold on a minute, because you don't know what her story is. And I try. It's hard, but you have to try not to compare, because, like I said, I started off with graphics. Some people started right into the art. And so it's like, you can't compare your journey. You can be inspired by it, but don't let that, discourage you,
You are
but
at the time in your life at the exact moment that you're supposed to be there.
Oh,
hmm
that's so good.
learning what
That
you need to learn, being who you need to
So
be.
you know, Krista says, I love how sure you both were, how you both were so
Hmm.
certain about your identities and determined to fulfill what was best for you. And that is why we do this platform, so women are in their own heads about it.
Yeah.
And women don't get stuck looking at IGs and reels and
Check.
TikToks and thinking, bam, bam,
Now.
that's yes.
It was like then and now. And they're like, hey, I snap my fingers and nothing happened.
In 24 hours, wow. We
I'm
thinking
snapping
that
my fingers. I'm like, still have to do it.
and
And
I
this
look,
for me this week, but it's all
I'm still old school, so I might say, they out there flossing and putting all that stuff out there and showing all this stuff,
Mhm,
but
mhm.
they could be in debt.
true. You're
True.
right about it.
I have
You're
no
right
idea.
about it. You don't know the backstory.
And
That's
that's
not
no
what we're doing over here. Amen.
you run out trying to get all of that stuff to show
Mm,
your success, when the
Mhm,
truth of the matter is there are quiet successful people who are doing well, but people don't know it because they're
mhm,
choosing not to put it out there like that. And
mhm,
that
mhm,
seems to be more of a peaceful way to be yourself. Matter of
mhm,
fact, I said I was gonna remember the person's name. It's a guy, was an author. I think I read one of his devotions on YouVersion and
mhm.
then checked out his website, and he said something that made me think of you guys. It said, don't compete, create.
Mm, mhm.
mhm,
I was like, that is so
Yep,
good.
that's
That is so true. So,
mhm,
Chrissy, before we go to the next point,
mhm.
um, introduce us to the woman behind you.
Oh yes, this way. All right. Okay, there we go. I have to see which way. So this is fragile. This is a piece I did last year, 2021. Last year. This is a print, a canvas print, what we call a canvas print. So the original has sold. Thank you, Jesus. See, that's what I'm talking about. Gotta just do it, out of nowhere. So the original has sold, but I now have limited edition canvas prints. It's called Fragile, and I painted this piece one night. And so I painted on a black canvas. That's another thing I've just started to fall in love with, is painting on black canvases. But painted it on a black canvas one day, like, all these virtual meetings I had. One day I just had like 1,000. It felt like a
So, like,
thousand. Felt like 1,000 virtual meetings, and then I had heard about a friend of mine who had COVID, from back home, and then he's had just turned 40. And then we heard about another friend, and so it was just a day where you just realize how fragile life is.
mhm.
And so I just started painting, and this is what happened, out of nowhere. And so real a piece that's really close to my heart. And so, yeah, so they are limited edition, y'all. Y'all go on to superquest.org. Okay. Amen. Be
I
there.
love it.
It's
Somebody
limited.
said fragile is so beautiful.
It
That's all.
is.
And look, I love this wisdom that flows in our sacred sisterhoods. Margaret Thompson says,
Ooh,
real wealth whispers.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Right
Yes.
about it.
Yes.
Right
I
about it.
like that one.
That's a good one.
So good.
That's a
Real
good
wealth
one. Mhm.
whispers. And so, Jamel, since you did a pivot during pandemic, what made you pivot to all naturally you?
So when the pandemic hit and all events shut down, like there was
Mhm.
nothing going on, and for health and safety reasons, of course, everything shut down.
Mhm.
So all of my clients, they're canceling their events. So I'm here in the house, stuck. I have nothing to do. And I could have thought about that, like, oh, woe is me. Nothing's coming in. I don't have anything to do. But it really gave me the time to really kind of meditate on what I wanted,
Mhm.
it, and whether or not I could do more,
Mhm.
and kind of what my other passions are.
Mhm.
And so that's why I started the company,
Mhm.
because during the pandemic, I sat down, I was still, and I listened, I received,
Mhm.
and this is what came to me. start
Wow.
business.
That's good. That's good.
That's so powerful. And thank
So
you for
good.
saying that, because that was one of my greatest struggles as I kept going back and forth and back and forth, was how to completely incorporate my spiritual life in, business or entrepreneurship or whatever you do. Because sometimes they think, oh, you got to separate it, or you got to do this, or you can't do that. But the truth of the matter is that's part of who you are.
Mhm.
Exactly.
And that is our advantage, is the Holy Spirit that leads us and guides us and helps us to take those steps, like you
Mhm.
did, to hear from God to do that. So Chrissy, the website again is cbcreates.
/Prince. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
cbcreates.org.
Org. /Prince. Hey, cousin. Thank you, cousin.
Oh, Dina is on it. And then Jamel, all naturally you is what mine's all slow. What's your website?
All www.allnaturallyu.com.
Yay.
Awesome. So somebody has a question for the two of you, which is a really good question. Because you both talked about kind of like that script of, going to school. I did. I think I used the word script. I'm not sure which one of us, but that
Mhm.
script of that we all had, go to college, get a good job, da da da. So somebody says, do you think if you had received the entrepreneur script and investment funds, would you have pursued that instead of college?
Hmm. Go ahead, Jamil.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think that the way that things happened in my life was exactly how it was supposed to, because like I said, I was doing little things on the side, little hustle to here and there, but it took until I was in my job and I met the right person at the right time in my life
Mhm.
that introduced me to a whole nother area, to this event planning world. And I realized that I was pretty good at this. I'm
Mhm,
pretty good at this. I can, use this logical brain of mine to
mhm,
do these things. And I fell in love with it at the time.
mhm,
But if I would not have gone to school, I
mhm,
would not have gotten that job. I would have not gotten to meet this woman
mhm.
and realize where I should go next. Like what is really fulfilling me right now.
Mhm.
So it, yeah, I don't think I would. I don't think I would change it.
Yeah, it's almost like that when you as the older you get, the more experiences you have, the things we hear make a lot more sense to us. Like I wouldn't take nothing from my journey now, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
wherever we were, whatever we went through, whatever we experienced, brought us to where we are. Because God is the look, y'all. Now I'm gonna get that. God is the greatest event planner and right
yes.
strategist, right? He orders our steps
Mhm.
Mhm.
to get us to where we are now. So as we prepare to close out, this has been such a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
a rich conversation. Got to have a more and more. Um,
Mhm.
so two things: what are you believing God for yourself and your business, and then what wisdom would you have shared with your younger self?
What,
Chrissy.
what am I believing God for my business, right? And myself. And
Mhm,
what I'm not talking about younger self. Um, I'm believing God to continue to breathe fresh life and ideas into me of how to get the power of art into more homes, right? And so with everything going on, I've been doing more virtual paint parties, and doing different art shows virtually, so just really I'm believing that God will enable my art to hit homes and stores and restaurants, and to broaden even things and ideas that I don't even know, enabling me to connect with stores and companies that I don't know to been able to get my art onto products, because I'm doing it, myself, but I just know that there's more, right? Things for, as far as distribution deals, I'm believing God for that. I'm believing God, to open up galleries and, just believing that God will broaden the scope and the visual, being able to more people being able to see the art that God is birthing through me. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm believing. And then for myself, I'm so much. I'm believing so much now for myself. But as I have just part of the questions I've been asking myself is how do I believe family is going to come to be in my life for me? Because there's so many options, right? And so I'm just sitting back and I feel like it's closer than I think. And then how, because there's so many decisions at this age, that I can make. And so just believing that God will lead me to the right decisions for my life of how I believe family shall come into existence for me. And being excited about that and okay with that. And what I would tell my younger self is, girl, relax. Relax, relax. It just, I would say, well, as you're starting to do CB crates on the side, put 30% away, girl. Okay, for taxes.
Wow,
Yes,
good.
I would
yes,
tell myself that right now.
Mm-hmm.
I would tell my younger self, okay, put 30%, even though it's not your full income yet, practice now, putting 30% aside. I tell
So
every
good.
young entrepreneur, every little sis of mine going into business, I say, I know it may not be your main income now, but start practicing every dollar that come in, 30 cents goes into another account and you give it to Uncle Sam, okay? Come April. Because that way when you build that, discipline, when it's your main income and you see all that's going out, you're like, hey, but I would
Oh,
definitely tell myself, I would definitely say that, definitely would tell my younger self that and have fun. Have fun, girl. I was a very serious child. I can't breathe and have fun, girl. Relax.
so good. Thank you, Jamel.
Um, oh, let's see. I um I am hoping that we always have our own plans, right? We always have our own plans, and my plan and hope and prayer for this year is that I will start to be in stores, on shelves, um, but I am also wide open to this experience that I'm having right now,
Yeah.
to opportunities that are coming my way that I have not even imagined, and I keep opening myself up to these opportunities and just receiving things that are pushing me in directions and I'm like, wow, I didn't even know that this existed. Like I'm here right now in Philadelphia at a show I didn't even know existed,
Yeah.
and it's wonderful. So just more of that kind of receiving, accepting, going down the path that is set out for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably going to be what 2022 is all about for All Natural You, and I'm excited about that. I am totally excited about that.
Woo-hoo.
What would I tell my younger self? For my younger self, I would tell her to find like-minded people.
Mhm.
Mm,
To sometimes when you're young and you have these dreams and it seems like they're such big dreams to everyone else, and oh, how could you possibly do that? How is that going to work? Well, sometimes it's not it's not for me to know how it's going to work.
Mhm.
It's been told to me, it's been given to me, this idea.
mm,
I'm just here for the journey. I'm
Mhm.
just here
Here
to
for
do
me.
it, right?
Yep.
So you
Mhm.
find like-minded
What to
people that's
do.
able to to give you the right advice,
Yeah.
to encourage you, and to be there for you and be sounding boards for you and not tell
mm,
you what you can't do.
Come
Because
on.
there is no such thing as I
Yeah.
can't do it. No.
breaking
I
ceiling.
would I would say find like-minded people, find a mentor, and make sure your circle of people are exactly what you need and not anything else.
I love that. It sounds like Jamel is living. The question isn't who's going to let me, it's who's going to
Gonna
stop me.
stop me.
That's it. That's it.
Oh, y'all help me
That's
celebrate and thank Chrissy and Jamel for joining us in the meditation room. What wisdom, what insight, what empowerment and excitement. I'm just loving it. Hey, Sister Cynthia, about Pastor Cynthia, they're one of my equal sisters. I'm just so excited. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for showing up in the meditation room. Come back next week, even though we're finished with for this month, which our HWICs, it's February.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? I got some stuff percolating in my head about February, what we're going to do, what our content is going to be for February. But whatever it is, you ought to know when you show up in the meditation room, it's going to be amazing. And it's amazing because you are here. Thank you so much, y'all. Just take a deep breath in and release it and have a peaceful, peaceful night. This is the last month of January. Take some time to reflect on this month. Take some time to thank God for what all that God did. Whatever didn't get done, wasn't supposed to get done. Celebrate everything you did do and just keep your head up and keep your eyes forward and trust that God is ordering your steps. Thank y'all so much. We'll see you next Monday.
Meditation room.
Have a good one, y'all. Good night.
Body, bro.